So I didn't put a spoiler warning during the last video because I originally thought that it was your fault for watching a video on a topic that you just aren't knowledgeable about. But then I remembered that the anime is nowhere close to being finished, so I kinda just sound like a pretentious asshole right now, so sorry about that. But what I won't be sorry about is how I feel about some of the writing choices Gotoge sensei and her editor finalized, and then proceeded to publish in a magazine for millions to read across the world. Shonen Jump series were never really known for their spectacular writing, but Demon Slayer had some exceptionally odd details that could even be considered plot holes. Even the largest of series, such as Naruto and Dragon Ball, have huge gaping holes that make Swiss cheese seem like impenetrable fortresses, so it makes sense that this series has them as well. As a matter of fact, the entire reason for the plot to happen at all doesn't really make sense to me. Why did Muzan go out of his way to kill some family in a remote village nowhere near him? He literally lives in a big city, so why would he bother going out of his way to put this mountain family inside of his mouth? Actually, you can see how most of their body parts are intact, so what part of them did he even consume? Does Muzan even need to eat people anymore? I could have sworn he could survive without eating anyone, and only ever ate to recover. So why did he kill Tanjiro's family? Speaking of family though, whatever happened to the first family we see Muzan have? Did he kill them? Are they dead? Are they ever gonna get mentioned again? He probably killed them. Yeah. Who am I kidding? I would just like to take this opportunity to say that I actually like how Muzan is set up as a villain. He is a truly terrible person who has lost any semblance of his humanity, which solidifies just how much of a monster he truly is. Comments about his deathly appearance triggers the zombie man, which is consistent with his desire of becoming the perfect being. It's just that many of his mysteries aren't given a proper conclusion and are purposely unexplained. For instance, how did his doctor just know how to make man-eating demons? And surely the authorities, and therefore the Japanese government, have noted the atrocities that Muzan and his goonies have committed. But sometimes readers are just forced to accept things as true. I kinda hate when that happens, but it just happens to be the case here. But I still wish to talk about my absolute hatred for characters that people actually like. There's something about ripping into things people genuinely enjoy and defending what is hated that really gets to me. So I might as well get the biggest one out of the way right now.
Why is Zenitsu the absolute worst? How did he get second place in the first popularity poll? How did he beat Nezuko, who was able to display so much character without uttering a single word? Why does every syllable out of Zenitsu's mouth sound like a whiny ass bitch to the point where I sound like a fucking sane man? Why is Tanjiro letting such a mentally weak person simp over his sister like that? How did Nezuko actually fall for this pushy ass guy? How did he literally win the second popularity poll with over 4,000 more votes than second place? Fucking Giyu. He fucking beat Giyu, lost to this mother. How do people actually like him unironically? Am I missing something? When did Gotoge sensei ever reveal that his master had other students that actually mattered? When did we care about Master Man's other students like they actually mattered? He literally showed up once in a flashback in the mountain arc, and we were supposed to remember him for like 100 chapters after? Is that not silly to anyone else? Why did that chapter read like something Gotoge sensei made up halfway through the series instead of something that was actually planned like a reasonable person? People don't like this arc, right? It's so not good. Just while we're on the topic of just annoying companions, why does Inosuke never shut the up? Why does he think of people as peons if he's been isolated all of his goddamn life? Even bigger question, how the does Inosuke even know English/Japanese? Are you telling me that he remembered all the stuff his mother taught him? How the does he have memories from when he's younger than 2? And if you're gonna tell me that that little chubby ass baby is greater than 2 years old, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one. What happened to infantile amnesia? So just like, whatever. If he really was living in the mountains by himself, what kind of teacher taught him about swords? You're expecting me to believe that he stole some Slayer sword and immediately knew how to use it? Both that and breathing? What the f? Why did the boarhead look so disgusting when first introduced? How? Just why? Go Toge-sensei. You knew he was going to be a main character. Why did he look so gross? How did he even manage to wipe Miss Aoi Kanzuki without her questioning her own fucking sanity? Why was a single set of panels the only goddamn cute interaction I remember between the two of them? Is this relationship even canon, or did the fans on the wiki fanfic a little too hard and then fucking make something that wasn't canon appear canon? Would this make Aoi technically a furry? Hear me out. Fucking boarhead all the goddamn time. It's not like he takes it off ever. Maybe she just imagines him with a paper bag over his face at all times. His abs do be pretty nice. Fair enough. So my friend wanted me to better explain why I hate Mr. Sleeping Guy and Pigface so much, so I should probably explain. In writing, there's the concept of 5-man bands, which are caricatures that work well together. There are certain characteristics that are common within a shonen protagonist group, so it should be expected that Demon Slayer vaguely fulfills these requirements as well. In a 5-man band, there is a leader, a lancer, a heart, a strong guy, and a smart guy. Commonly, there are also subgroups within said band, with the most common being the leader, lancer, heart trio. The leader's personality changes with the character and the series, but are generally dependable and strong, and the lancer is the one that challenges the leader and therefore has a personality opposite to the main character. And the heart is obviously just the one that brings everyone together in a cohesive group and is just overall very pleasant, very nice. And if you want an actual comprehensible video on this topic, watch the one by Overly Sarcastic Productions, because I'm pretty sure I technically plagiarized most of the words just now. As for what roles each of the main characters in Demon Slayer play, Tanjiro is obviously the leader, and I think Inosuke is the one that plays the role of the Lancer best. He butts heads with Tanjiro the most and has an erratic personality, which contrasts Tanjiro's constant state of calm. That's why, even though I kinda disliked Inosuke's weird personality, I think he is fair enough as a character. The juxtaposition between his boar head and his beautiful head, that was a weird sentence, don't take that out of context, was a nice touch too. His fights looked ugly, but that's mostly because beast breathing as a whole just doesn't have a cool visual flair to go with it. But I think he was fine for a side character. What? He's technically a main, but everything about his introduction was so villain-like, and he actively worked against Tanjiro for like 2 whole arcs. What do you mean he's a main character? Whatever, man, I guess. On the other hand, Zenitsu doesn't really have a role throughout the entire series. Zenitsu's honestly kind of like a Lancer to the Lancer, since the one he contrasts most is Inosuke. Inosuke is brave, headstrong, and wild, whereas Zenitsu is cowardly, predictable, and essentially whines about the same things every single time. Oh wait, but that's when Zenitsu is awake. My mistake. When he passes out, he becomes a savant slayer, but Sleep Nitsu is a fundamentally different character from when he is awake. He is completely unaware of his other form when he wakes up, which is proof that we should honestly consider them as 2 different characters. When Zenitsu is asleep, he is at his coolest. His fights are quick and dynamic, the utilization of just one form is honestly super interesting to me, and his battles are over in a flash, just like a lightning strike. But just let that marinate for a second. Sleeping better than normal. If Sleep Nitsu contrasts normal Zenitsu, who contrasts Inosuke, who contrasts Tanjiro, what is Sleep Nitsu's relationship to Tanjiro? There isn't one. It doesn't exist. I don't think they interact at all throughout the entire series. The whole idiot is actually strong archetype falls short to me when it genuinely feels like 2 different characters doing 2 different roles. Normal Zenitsu gets no credit in my eyes when Sleep Nitsu does something cool. They sort of become one and the same towards the end of the series, but there's no real explanation for what causes Crybaby to fight his battles head on for once. And that's why I want Zenitsu fans to actually explain why he's likable, because I genuinely don't understand.
Honestly, I don't really want to talk anymore other than saying that Senemi still looks like a psycho despite Gotoge-sensei's attempts at making us sympathize with him. His first impression was just way too strong, so I didn't care about anything that happened afterwards, including that his mom was heavily abused and his family all died. Which, in retrospect, is another sentence that I would not say in real life. Also, just saying, Shinobu was useless. Imagine your biggest accomplishment being that you made yourself poisonous and then you died. Like, she still did more than Rengoku, but I still want to call her useless because if I say useless a few more times, I can just shove in more voice lines and that's funny in my brain. Big Stone Hashira Man also deserves more attention since I actually like his backstory, but I totally forgot his name because he just wasn't that important. But actually, now that I think about it, I might as well just make a video talking about stuff I actually liked in the series. That's a good idea. And with that, I have no idea how to transition into the conclusion. While its beginning was a bit boring to read and hard to look at, Demon Slayer still had some high highs that stick to you and leave a lasting impression. Truth be told, for a series that lasted over 4 years, it's honestly pretty impressive how little I have to complain about it in terms of plot and character details that actually matter. And admittedly, none of these nitpicks are anywhere near insulting enough to ruin the story. This billion-dollar franchise is popular for a reason. It's pretty darn good. No matter what I say, I cannot deny the impact Demon Slayer has had on pop culture and the history of anime as a whole. Trending on Twitter, becoming the highest grossing anime film, Kyojiro's sacrifice, Zenitsu's first form x6, and the majesty to the eyes known as Episode 19. Whatever you choose to remember is proof enough that this series has given us a show with a long-lasting impact. It matters not how generic or overdone a shonen manga plot is, as long as it delivers on its purpose. Why do we as readers read manga? To be entertained for sure, but I think it goes beyond that. We are looking for something that sticks out to us and just screams, I'm with you to the ends of both time and space. And the tallest peaks of Demon Slayer Mountain have done so much for millions across the entire world. To touch the hearts of contemporary media and its readers across the entire globe. How could I possibly criticize Demon Slayer for that?